recently launched and have killer performance, the Poco F6 and the Realme GT60. Let's see how the both phones fare and stand where in comparison to each other. This is the comparison between the two killer performance smartphones, the Poco F6 and the Realme GT60. So ladies and gentlemen, fasten your seatbelts. This is the first look at both the phones, and yes, the Poco has a simple yet classy look, whereas Realme is also classy but a little one on the stylish side. But yes, it does attract a lot of fingerprints, which doesn't look good, and after a while it is irritating. The Poco phone is quite slimmer and lighter than the Realme GT60. Both have the usual ports and buttons, and yes, both don't have the 3.5mm headphone jack. Though the GT60 comes with IP65 rating, the Poco F6 has the IP64 rating. Now we've talked about the design. Having said that, the haptics on both are good. We typed on both the smartphones and yes, they were pretty responsive and fast. And up next, the display. So while both the phones have 122Hz of refresh rate and AMOLED display, and here are the quick display specs that we're showing you, and let me tell you, each of it a winner in some or the other category. So take a look at the specs of the Poco F6 and the Realme GT60. Now the big difference is of course the LTPO panel, which is there in the Realme GT60 but missing in the Poco F6, and the Realme display is brighter than the Poco display, as you can see. But yes, the Poco offers Dolby Vision, which is missing in the Realme GT60, something that should have been there at this price point, and the stereo speakers, which are better in Poco. Hear it out, we played a video on both of it.
GT60. We're going to be unboxing this smartphone that we launched today, and yes, we give you all the details about it. Let's quickly unbox and give you the first impression, which is Shruti Sharma, and I'll tell you all about the Realme GT60. So let's unbox this, let's see what is there in the box. I'm going to show you everything that's there in the box. Yes, that's what the Poco F6 is known for, and yes, believe you me, the Antutu score for this smartphone has been over 1.5 million points. Yes, you heard it right. So let's unbox this beauty and give you a first impression on the Poco F6 smartphone.
Well, talking about the display here again, the Realme has a curved panel and the screen goes on till the edges and curves which look quite fantastic, and there the Poco F6 on the other hand has a very flat display. So look at both the phones very closely. You can see that the Realme has a closer look here that we're giving you, has a nice curved display, and even the edges have the screen up from edge to edge, wherein the Poco of course is the flat display, which again is my favorite. So if you like curved display or flat display, here are the options that you get in both of it that you can pick. Now moving on to the performance of the both phones. Yes, both phones are indeed killer performers, and yes, the Poco F6 is powered by the Snapdragon 8s Gen 3. This is the very first smartphones to have this processor in India. जी हाँ, भारत में पहला ऐसा फोन Poco F6 जिसमें कि Snapdragon 8s Gen 3 दिया गया है. इसकी शुरुआत ही इसी चिपसेट से इस स्मार्टफोन से हुई है. Well, the Realme has Snapdragon 7 Plus Gen 3. So here is the difference in terms of processor, and also you get the same storage on both the phones, as you can see. So you have 8GB 256, you have 12GB 256, and you also have 12GB 512GB. But the difference that you notice here is that you get a UFS 3.1 on the base variant of GT60, while the Poco all models have the UFS 4.0. Well, as per reports, the Realme GT60 has a better Antutu score also as compared to the Poco F6. As per the gaming, the Poco F6 fares better than the Realme GT60. Not that it was a bad experience on Realme, but it did fairly well even if you talk about its standalone performance in gaming. Indeed, people are also calling both the phones as gaming phones. So for gamers, this is indeed a delight, whichever you pick up. Having said that, both the phones perform perfectly fine on daily usage, pretty fast, no hitting issues, snappy, no lag, everything was just very quick and nice. Now let's talk talk about the software of both the phones. Poco F6 runs Xiaomi Hyper OS, while the Realme GT60 runs Realme UI 5.0. And yes, these will get 3 years of OS update and 4 years of security patch. Both of it. The Poco has a bit of bloatware as compared to Realme, so just a heads up on this before you buy either of the phones. Well, it's not that much, but yes, it is a bit there. The UI experience on the Poco F6 sure looks nice and fancy, but the Realme GT was much smoother to use. And now talking about the cameras of both the phones. Yes, the camera specs are here, are the specs for the Poco F6 and the Realme GT60. Take a look and then we'll move on to the pictures that we've clicked from both the phones. So as you can see, the specs on camera are almost the same, just that the front camera on the Poco F6 is 20 megapixel and Realme has 32 megapixel. And now here that you can see the pictures, the daylight shots are both natural on both the phones, the F6 and Realme GT60. Ultra wide shots, if you talk about, both perform well. Clarity and sharpness of the pic, as you can see, is better on Realme GT60. Both perform almost the same in the low light as well, and zoom in gives a blurry detail though. Again, the colors on the Realme are much better as compared to Poco F6. Not that they're bad, but they're more natural, and the Realme GT makes it a little oversaturated though. Again, a matter of choice, which one would you like it? And portrait shots, if you talk about, are also almost the same on both the phones. Again, Realme GT is a little brighter side, but a little natural on the Poco F6. So we'll leave you some other pictures that we clipped from both the phones so you can have a better clarity and comparison of the pictures right here next to next. Take a look. But moving on to the front camera, like we told you, the major difference lies in the front camera. These are almost the same again. Both perform very well. But yes, as you can see, the Realme pics are more detailed and more sharp as compared to the F6. Talking about the video, it's 4K at 60 frames per second. And here are the video from both the phones. Take a look and be your own judge. Which one did you like? Also, the Realme has dual screen recording options, but Poco misses out on this feature. Moving on to the battery now, the Poco has 5000 mAh of battery with 90 watts of turbo charging, while the Realme GT60 has 5500 mAh battery with 120 watts of super charging. So yes, the battery performance on the Realme was better as compared to the Poco, although you get 120 watts of charger in both the phones, but yes, the Poco supports only 90 watts. The connectivity features are almost the same on both the devices. Yes, the Poco F6 8GB 256GB costs rupees 29,999 and you can get it for 28,000 with the bank discount, whereas the GT60 is priced at rupees 30,999 for the base model. So Poco is a good performer in terms of gaming and has a good display in a crux, whereas Realme GT60 has a better battery life. Some may like the curved display as well and has a slight edge above the Poco F6 in the camera department. So a quick review that we give it. So both are awesome performer in killer and the pricing with some promising features. And which one is your choice? We leave it up to you. And yes, do tell me in comment section as to which one did you like, Poco F6 or the Realme GT60.